right. So, what's the focus for this inquiry?
So I put in establishing and articulating goals for student learning. How do I establish and articulate learning goals effectively so that students understand expectations and work towards meeting learning goals?
Okay.
So I was tying it into how we're doing the standards-based grading, and which they know, and we've gone over. But I guess it's just different, and I'm trying to just like reinforce it and make sure they kind of understand what we're doing, like why we're doing it, and how it kind of changes things from what we were doing before.
Okay. So what were you guys doing before standard-based grading?
Honestly, a lot of the stuff we were doing, the work itself wasn't that different. And some of the stuff was more tied to standards and had a rubric and everything. But basically the biggest change, and I can show you in the grade book, the way it's set up. Okay, they're right there. So it's just standards mastery or participation.
Okay. Oh, it's 50%.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and some of the English teachers are doing it where by second semester it's gone up to 60% standards based.
Okay.
But I'm just trying it this semester, so I didn't do that.
Okay.
But so yeah, basically all of our assignments go into participation. Even like quizzes and stuff, I kind of put that in as just participation.
Okay.
And then anything that goes in here is actually like assessing how well they're meeting the standards on a rubric.
So okay, so you have a rubric like on assignment, and it tells them what they should be able to do by the end of the assignment, and that's what you want to articulate with them, the rubric or the why?
I don't know, just kind of all of it.
Okay.
So like I'm finishing grading them right now. So this is the assignment. This is the rubric. I also want to make sure my rubrics are a little more clear.
Okay.
Because this is one I got from another teacher, and I did change it a little bit, but it even took me like a little bit to get comfortable using it, which I'm like probably isn't great for them.
Yeah.
You know?
So the lowest they can get is 5 points.
Yes.
Assuming like they do the bare minimum, it's 5 points.
Yeah, technically, even if they don't do anything, they get 50%.
They get 50%.
Which is part of the whole like philosophy, is not that it's really an A through F thing, that it's just like, I don't know, where are you at, you know, either you're beginning, but it's kind of like this awkward thing because the way the grade book's set up, it's like this whole different idea of grading, and you have to like make it mesh with.
Right.
So the nice thing is, and kind of part of the reason it's done this way, why they automatically get a certain amount of points, is so that their grade doesn't get so low they can't like pull themselves out of it.
Okay.
Or they're not being constantly punished by having like a 0 in the grade book. Although if they're not doing classwork assignments, they're still getting 0s and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you feel like this standards-based grading is better than how you were grading before? Like, do you feel that students are understanding it more, or their grades are getting better?
I don't know that I don't know. I honestly don't. I feel like it's better for me.
Okay.
Like, and not even maybe in the way that it's turning out with grading and everything, but at least what we're doing. Like, I know what we're working toward, what things I'm trying to get them to be able to do. And then all of my assignments that would technically be participation, I'm like, okay, is this actually working towards that, or is this just something else that maybe I should rethink whether we're doing it or not?
Okay. You just started this semester, or? Okay.
And a lot of the stuff I was doing, I was realizing when I was trying to work it out, how does this work, that it actually was like a more concise way of how I was trying to do things before anyways. Because having all those categories like tests and quizzes and classwork and all those things, like, first of all, I'm not giving a lot of tests and quizzes, you know, so and if they didn't seem super important to where they should have a big weight on the grade anyways, and, you know, because for me, the writing is the big things we're always doing, and I don't know, it just works out better.
Oh, so it's more like in line to what you want the students to know, other than pick out the correct, you know, multiple choice answer.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And for that anyways, it's more just like if I'm going to do something like that, it's worthwhile. Like, okay, are you understanding who the characters are and the basic things? You know, but it's not really like I'm really testing any skills or anything. So I think it works out better.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what are the plans for tomorrow for fifth period?
So we're working on these. So this is the only standards-based assignment we've had, and we're basically doing it over and over again for different chapters of the book. So this was this was actually supposed to be 3 through 5, so that's wrong. But and now we're doing, I think, 6 through 8 tomorrow. We're working on that.
Okay. So the students already read ahead of time, or they're going to read in class?
We're finishing reading today.
Oh, today, and then they do the double entry journal tomorrow. And it's To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
The kids enjoying the book.
Yeah,
Okay.
more than I thought they would actually.
All right, that's
So
good.
I'm happy.
So then tomorrow I'll be finishing the reading, and then they'll be entry into the double entry journal. What do they
and
have
then I
to
figured
do?
I could make a point about maybe going over some of this stuff.
Okay. On the.
Yeah, like take some time to go over the rubric again with them. I guess just communicating the purpose of the whole thing, reminding them, because my grade book is basically a bloodbath right now because of these. And part of why I like this, I think they were getting so used to just being like, oh, I turn it in, so I basically get an A. And, you know, for a lot of things, they were being rewarded that, you know. And if I really looked at it, I'm like, okay, well, this person has like a high A in my class, but if I really look at their work, it's probably more like a B or maybe a C plus, the actual quality of it. So it really is graded on the quality.
Okay.
So, and I noticed there was a big improvement from the first one we did to the second one. So, I don't know, just kind of go over everything. And then theoretically, if they get to the point where they're proficient, then according to this whole grading thing, you can go back and change their old grades.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because they don't need to be punished for when they were trying
When
and
they're-
figuring it out.
Oh, all right.
And, okay, you've shown that consistently you can meet the standard.
And so you go back, you change the grade, and
Yeah, so I've been kind of trying to remind them of that. If you keep showing that you're improving and then you can show that you've got it consistently, then we can change the old grades.
this is department wide that you guys are doing this. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, like we all read this, and it goes over all the things, like I said, where you can go back and change the old grades, where they get at least half points. But I think everybody's doing it a little bit differently. Like, Kennedy really isn't doing a lot of that stuff. However, he's always done things basically where he's doing everything on a rubric. So it's similar. So it's kind of what everybody's trying to move towards. But, I mean, it's like not a simple science. You know, everybody's just trying to, I guess, do it the best that it works for them.
So far you think it's been working? Like this new type of grading?
Yeah.
You've only done it this semester, so.
I think it's holding them a lot more accountable.
Okay.
So I'm happy about that. And that's what I keep trying to tell myself when I'm looking at my grade book, like, okay, you know, this hopefully should get them to be a little more focused and know. And I do like doing this because I like being able to do something over and over again where they keep practicing the same thing.
Right.
Because I know for me, that's how I would get better at something.
Yeah, just
And
keep doing it. And doing
yeah, and that's one thing I'm not always super organized about, is doing stuff like that. So I'm happy we have this. But yeah, but then there's other things like with my sophomores, like their assignment I have, let me look at it, is I did actual specific standards. And
Okay.
that's like another way you can do, I don't know. So it's just like a work in progress, trying to figure the whole thing out.
Yeah, trying to find like your medium, either just standards or skills. No, I understand.
Yeah. So like this was all one assignment where they did like a little research. But, and like this one was technically 2 standards that were similar.
Okay.
And this one was just one, a speaking and listening, because they were presenting. And then, whereas like this assignment, it's like they're getting 1 grade for 4 different standards.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, I think that's pretty cool to look at, to see how and be able to use that comparison last semester to this semester at the end of June to see what works better, and maybe start off from there come August next year.
Yeah, from what I've heard from other teachers, it ends up kind of falling on a bell curve.
Okay.
They tend to have less Fs, but also less As. It's like everybody lands more in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is probably more reflective of the actual skills too. So,
Yeah, that is true. Rather than just give credit for completion, let's see what you learned.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll check that out tomorrow then.
Yeah. So I think that's the challenge, is just communicating